WSU Soccer is the best it's ever been. Gardner Minshew begins Act 2 of his Rookie of the Year campaign, and we debate whether Mike Leach is leading WSU. This is Cougar Sports Desk for December 6, 2019.
What's up, Cougar Nation? We're a soccer school, women's soccer. I'm Noah Schmidt.
And I'm Brady Frederick. Welcome to the season finale of Cougar Sports Desk.
Well, the Cougars finished off their regular season last week, and if you ever watched an Apple Cup, it probably went exactly as you expected. Cougs lost decisively with a score of 31-13, as the Huskies once again shut down the Aryan offense by simply dropping 8 into coverage, tackling the flats, and pressured Anthony Gordon with only 3 rushers.
The Cougs extend their Apple Cup losing streak to 7 years now, and even more disappointing, they have not beat the Huskies in Montlake since 2007. Those who have won in Seattle more recently than the Cougars include the Oregon State Beavers, Kurt Warner, and the Seattle Supersonics. They're coming back though. Perhaps the only good news to come out of the Apple Cup, Chris Peterson has had enough fun waxing the Cougs every Thanksgiving over the last 7 years and has decided to end his reign of terror, stepping down as head coach of the Huskies. We can now look forward to him likely taking the reins of an NFL team and expect him to beat the Seattle Seahawks in an upcoming Super Bowl, just so that he can ensure that Eastern Washington sports fans can never have anything good in their lives.
Now, you think this would mean that the Cougs can actually beat the boys in the purple and gold next year, but I've got some bad news. The replacement for Peterson is none other than the trash-talking, Coug-stopping defensive coordinator, Jimmy Lake. So all I'll say to any incoming freshmen or Cougs that will still be around for next year is at least the Apple Cup will be in Pullman next year. Just don't expect a different Husky team, or for that matter, a different Coug team, since the rumors of bleached Ole Miss and Arkansas are not true, at least for now.
Even in a disappointing season, a player who's been electric the entire time is Anthony Gordon. On Friday, he made history, becoming the 13th quarterback to throw for 5,000 yards in a single season. He's the 4th to be coached by Mike Leach. This builds Air Gordon's resume, which already included the Pac-12 single-season records in passing yards and passing touchdowns. On Tuesday, he received an invitation to the Senior Bowl, the 3rd straight WSU QB to do so. Hopefully he can use this opportunity to raise his NFL draft stock and continue WSU's legacy as quarterback university.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and get up on my soapbox and say this. Anthony Gordon needs to be more respected by not only the national media, but also by Coug fans. The dude has not only broken every one of Gardner Minshew's records, but he is also beating the Heisman frontrunner Joe Burrow by just under 1,000 yards of passing. If Gordon has had the defense that Minshew had, we are talking about a definite Heisman candidate and a quarterback who probably would have come away with wins against UCLA, Oregon, Arizona State, which, by the way, that make us 9-3. All I'm saying is when you sit on your phone or on your computer, whatever you're behind, and want to say something bad about the Cougs, let's just leave Gordo's name out.
But on the topic of Anthony Gordon, he did come away with a bogus third-team All-Pac-12 pick by Pro Football Focus. His main flaws were too many interceptions and not playing for Oregon. But making it on the first team is our kicker, who has talked to Mike Leach a total of 4 times this season, Blake Mazza, as well as our kick returner, Travell Harris. Borgie, Winston, Arconato, and Abe Lucas made it onto the second team to round out the Cougar Awards.
Well, I decided that I'm going to forget all about the Apple Cup and only focus on the positive things. And what better news is there to talk about than the return of Gardner Minshew? After ruining the Jaguars season in Week 11 by starting Nick Foles over the Minshew Magic, Coach Doug Marrone realized his mistake 2 weeks and 2 quarters too late. Nick Foles forgot how to play football and led the Jags to 2 losses and a 25-0 halftime deficit against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week. So it was time for Minshew to save the day, throwing a touchdown and at least making it a respectable score in the end. Coach Marrone says that Minshew will start for the rest of the season. There's one more big story this week, and that of course is women's soccer, a team that has exceeded beyond all expectations this season. Here's Henry Lenhart reporting from the lower soccer field. Henry?
Thanks, Noah. The WSU's women's soccer team stunned the nation by beating number 1 seeded Virginia and number 2 seeded South Carolina en route to an appearance in the College Cup Final Four. This is the first time ever in WSU history a soccer team has made it this far. They look to play North Carolina in the first round of the Final Four down in San Jose. They play today at 4 o'clock, so tune in to watch that game. If WSU wins, they'll play the winner of Stanford or UCLA, and that just shows how strong the Pac-12 is. So looking at WSU probably has a great chance to win today. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Henry. The WSU volleyball and football teams are now preparing for the postseason. Let's head over to the replay booth and see how they've done this last week.
Welcome to Replay Booth. I'm Kirsten Rosser and I'm Caitlin Appel. Let's take a look at the good news first. Women's volleyball finished out their regular season with a sweep at the University of Washington. At least one WSU sports team does. This hasn't happened since 2008. The Cougs beat the Huskies on the road this past Saturday and the Alaska Airlines Arena. Washington State started off the first set strong with a 4-2 run, which the Huskies were able to put a stop to and take a 7-6 lead. The first set included both teams going on runs and switching up who was leading. It wasn't until the Huskies were leading 22-16 that the Cougs went on an 8-run scoring streak and sealed the first set.
The second set was similar to the first. Both teams leading off 1-0. University of Washington took a timeout to score a 1-8 lead against the Jags. After timeout, UW was able to bring the lead with the 25-7.
The Cougar offense was on fire throughout the third set with multiple kills from freshmen Pia Timmer and Magda Hailarova. WSU was able to keep a consistent lead. The Cougs won the third set after UW's error 25-20.
The fourth set was no different than the others. Both teams took turns lead, but UW got the momentum they needed and were able to win the fourth set 25-20.
Going into the fifth set, both teams had 2 sets under their belt and the pressure was on. With kills from Timmer and Hailarova, WSU went on a 3-1 run. UW was able to answer, however, WSU was the first team to ace. After a fearful kill by senior Jocelyn Urias, WSU was up 11-7. Freshman Alexis Ludwig was able to finish UW off and close out set 5, 15-3. The team will travel to Hawaii to take on San Diego this Friday in the NCAA tournament.
Have your fireball on hand. We're about to take a huge trip to Seattle last Friday. The game started off strong for the Cougs as they drove right down the field for a first touchdown. Willie Taylor even sacked Jacob Eason on the first dropback, and the game was looking positive.
Then, the defense returned to their old ways and somehow let Eason score a touchdown. Gordon later attempted to connect with Renard Bell, but Bell tried to catch the ball with his chest, so he settled for a field goal for Monza.
Going into the third quarter, it looked like the game could change when the Cougs forced a turnover, down 28-13. But Dion McIntosh fumbled in the red zone. Gordon was then intercepted, and it was game over at 31-13. Gordon ended with 208 yards on 62 passes, and sadly, no touchdowns. This is the second consecutive time Washington State's QB has entered the Apple Cup leading the nation in passing touchdowns and became up with 0 in the biggest of the season.
That's it from Replay. Back to you guys at the desk.
That's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for tuning in to Cougar Sports Desk this season. For Noah Schmick and everybody else here in Studio A, I'm Brady Frederick saying good night and go Cougs.